Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We're here today with our Friday review. Looking forward, as always, to catching you up with everything that's been going on in the private practice over at the new EquaLife headquarters. Can't wait to share that news with you. Going over a product I've been using for the last couple of weeks after many of our community members have been using it and been telling me that you need to get one, you need to try it out. So looking forward to sharing my take on that today. Talking a little bit about these blue blockers that you'll see me wearing a whole lot more in my videos. And then, of course, some great research on longevity, as well as some deceptive food, big food marketing once again at it. So looking forward to sharing those notes with you right now. And let's get started. All right, so first things first, I want to let you know that these shows, which I love being able to bring you on an everyday basis, are all essentially put together, formulated in a way that I believe and I hope that brings you the most value. So I'm always getting new ideas from our community members. So if you are not a part of CabralSupportGroup.com, I would love you to head over there. It's a free Facebook group. There's literally nothing to buy. There's nothing to do, nothing to join. You just press the join button and you can reach and really get to know 10,000 strong other global health community-based members. It's just a free Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, basically people ask questions, people give advice. We share all sorts of updates there. Always that we post in there first before anybody else knows. Things like the new EquaLife brand going live about 2 weeks ago. Hopefully you've gone over to equa.life. You've already checked out what it's all about. We're basically bringing education now to the forefront of integrative health and functional medicine. So we're excited to be able to do that, really. I mean, that's the truth, and there's so much more to come. Well, along those same lines, that beginning this week, and it will happen over the next 3 months before we hit 2021, is every single product page at equa.life. That's equi.life. We will be bringing you a content video on each product page. So it's kind of like, well, why should you use an activated B complex? Why is it formulated in this certain way? How often should you use it? Do you need to take it forever? What time of the day should you take it? Should you take it before the meal, mid-meal, after the meal? So we're basically bringing you a whole lot of content. Now, whether you ever decide to purchase that product or not, honestly doesn't matter. Like, that's totally up to you. That's never why I got into this. I mean, for a full decade, well, way more than a decade, I was using all the best brands in functional medicine. So that is not what I'm here to do. But of course, I want to be able to give you a trusted source as well. So of course, you can go with the EquaLife brand, but what I'm doing is teaching you why a product looks this way, what to look for in other products, how to use that product for maximum efficacy, right? So that's what I'd love to be able to share with you. And all of that is now beginning over at equa.life. It's going to start at our most popular community favorites, whether it be the detox, daily nutritional support, daily fruit and vegetable blend, omega-3s, adrenal soothe, daily thyroid support, what else? Daily probiotic support, vitamin D. All of the favorites, of course, will now have videos and many more to come. So those are going to be coming again over the next couple of weeks. Continue just to stay tuned. We'll post many of them inside of CabralSupportGroup.com as well. All right, last things last, in terms of the updates, that our first health results accelerator should be dropping this week. I hope that it is. Again, these are recorded about 10 days or so in advance. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is a brand new concept that I'll definitely talk more about next week. It's a tremendous amount of work that has gone into this. I had no idea in the beginning. But my goal is, over the next 6 months, to be able to share with you at least a dozen different of what I'm calling health results accelerators that are going to enable you to figure out what went wrong with your thyroid, or your cholesterol, or your blood pressure, or your blood sugar, or mood, or energy and adrenals, or female hormones, or male testosterone, or children's immunity, adult immunity, like any one of those things. I'm going to take that topic and I'm basically going to say, okay, I've read dozens, if not 100 books plus on the subject. I've worked with now 250,000 people, let's say tens of thousands of people who had this particular issue. Here's what works. Here's what the research says. And here's what you can download in basically a half a day. So I'm going to take all the information that really you could possibly want, not more though, because I have to condense this down into 4 hours. And I'm going to give you everything that you need. So if you wanted to say, okay, starting at 8:30 a.m., drop the kids off or take a half day, whatever it is, by 12:30 or 1 o'clock, by the time you finish lunch, you'll have downloaded all the information, which has taken me 20 years and working in private practice and hundreds of thousands of hours of working with people and reading and research and all those great things. And I'm going to condense that. So I'm super excited about it. It was, like I said, a tremendous amount of work. I had no idea. I didn't know it would be this much, but I look forward to bringing you many more. The very first one is on thyroid rebalancing. So this is what it's all about. We're going to help people step by step. And this is what because you'll be learning a little bit later in the show, but there are things that I'm going to be putting my attention to, but not before that I make sure that everybody is able to find their answers. And since 1 out of 5, at the least 1 out of 8 women is going to deal with thyroid issue, and 1 out of 10 men, we need to look at this. Then we need to look at the heart disease and the blood pressure, all of those different things. So really looking forward to this. Again, it should be dropping this week. And I will, again, post that at Cabral Support Group and on my Instagram, just at Stephen Cabral. Super excited about that. I'll talk about it more when I know it's officially released. All right, so look for those. Those are just going to be at stephencabral.com/courses, and you'll see all of these health results accelerators. All right, next up, product review of the week. This came from our community. They said, have you ever used a weighted blanket? And I said, I've never even heard of a weighted blanket. This is going back a little bit, but it took me a long time to say, okay, I will actually want to check one out. So now that it's getting towards fall here, winter comes really quick in New England, I actually got the Luxome, and I'm going to link it up at stephencabral.com/1729. stephencabral.com/1729. That is where all of the links will be. And again, I always reach out to these companies. If I like the product, I reach out and I say, and not everybody does, probably only like 20% do, but sometimes they'll give us a discount code. So head over to stephencabral.com/1729, especially within the first week of the show debuting, and oftentimes there's a discount code. But this is the company I went with, and one of the reasons why I wanted to review weighted blankets is because there is actually some efficacy and a lot of anecdotal research of people using it for many different reasons. One of those being anybody with higher levels, and again, we're not treating anxiety or treating disease here. We never do that. We're not talking about that, but higher levels of anxiety or depression or even autism or ADHD. And using this weighted blanket, and it's almost like it sounds like it's a heavy blanket. And what it feels like is it feels comforting. That's really what it is. I compare to, like, my daughter's asked, what is that? Because the thing weighed a ton. So, and it doesn't weigh a ton when you unravel it, right? But when it's folded up in a 1x1 square, well, that weighs a lot. So my daughter's asked me, like, what is that for? Because I'm always bringing home new things, like always. It's one of the things that I love about the health field. So they asked me, hey, what's this about? And they know by now I have all these different gadgets and tools and all these different things. And I said, well, think of a weighted blanket as someone wrapping their arms around you and giving you a hug. And they immediately knew what that meant. Well, that's what it is for both children and adults. So although, a lot of people use it for restless leg syndrome, of course, I recommend looking at your electrolyte imbalances and those types of things, but it can be great for stress and ADD and autism and mood-based issues, insomnia, etc. So it's an excellent one. I did my research. Luxome is a phenomenal brand. One of the reasons, and why did I pick Luxome? Well, and how am I using it? Well, basically, I'm upstairs. I've said it before, part of my evening routine. I would say most nights of the week, probably 5 out of 7, my wife and I will watch TV from about 8:15 or so to 9:15. And we'll watch whatever. And again, we're not watching TV, right? We don't even have cable. So we're watching whatever might be on Netflix or Apple TV or whatever it might be. So that's when I threw it on. And I thought it was fantastic. It really did. It's also... the name for it, let me see if I can find the name for it specifically, but basically it's thermoregulating. It helps keep normal body temperature. It's cool to the touch, and that's because theirs is made out of bamboo. So I chose this particular company, Luxome, because it's made out of bamboo. And not only that it's made out of bamboo, so that it's sustainable, that it is nice, it's plant-based, it's natural, but also they are OEKO-Tech certified. And this is the #1 certification. So it means that they are completely free from harmful chemicals and safe for human use. So this is the top certification that we're looking for these bamboo sheets and bamboo products. And by the way, they also have a 400 thread count bamboo sheet, which is the highest out of any bamboo sheet thread counts. So pretty fantastic. Check out their weighted blanket. Check out their bamboo sheets. I'm going to link it up for you today at stephencabral.com/1729. I got the gray. I got the cool gray, or just the gray it's called. And they look it looks fantastic as well. Folds up, even though it's a nice heavy blanket, it folds up in a 1x1 square, and I can just throw it on the side of a chair. So really nice. They've got all sorts of different things from bamboo sheets to weighted blankets, etc. So check it out. I'll link it up again today at stephencabral.com/1729. All right, next up, I wanted to share with you this. So in a lot more of my videos, you're going to see me wearing blue blocking glasses. And the reason is I've been staring, unfortunately, at my computer screen a whole lot more. And now I've had to do that because, again, I've been writing these health results accelerators, and it's taking a lot of time. So we're talking about 100 hours or so for each one. And that doesn't include the research. That just includes me writing it and filming it. So it's quite a bit of time. And it's a lot of staring at the computer screen, which I don't love to do. Now, I love reading books, right? So I've got books all over my desk, and I'm always reading, and that's not so bad for the eyes. Of course, it can be if you have eyesight-based issues, but I haven't up to this point, which is good. But these blue blocking glasses are something that I've been wearing throughout the day. And the majority of the time, especially when I'm filming, because I have lights and different things like that. And the reason is this. I've been starting to get more eye strain and eye strain-based headaches, a little bit of blurred vision, and some neck and shoulder-based pain, which are all signs, essentially, of eye strain damage. And I don't want that, right? My eyesight has been good. I was born with an astigmatism in this right eye, but life has been good. Like life, except for that 10-year period of time, life has been good. But no, on all seriousness, my eyes have been okay. So what I want to share with you is that I typically have always recommended blue blocking glasses for evening use. And the reason I've recommended them is because you don't want to get that blue light at night because it's very unnatural. The sun would be setting, blue light would be going to a minimum, then the sun sets, and then there's no more blue light. But lights at home, smart TVs, smartphones, tablets, lights, etc., all emit blue light. So if we're going to use the TV, again, I just told you that my wife and I will often sit down and watch TV for an hour at night. Well, I wear these blue blocking glasses. And so that's always been easy for me. But now I'm starting to wear them a bit more during the day. And the reason I'm doing that is, again, to cut down this eye strain from staring at this computer screen. Now, I'm also trying to look away every 20, 30 minutes as well, just taking a little time away. But sometimes when you're focused and writing, and I just don't get up. Like I keep moving right through my work. So again, I wanted to share that with you. You can find them in a lot of different places. The ones that I'm wearing right now and that I love, because the reason why I love these is that they're about 95%, which is great. So they're on the higher spectrum in terms of being able to block blue light, because I really like that for an evening. And it's great for, especially when filming with lights on. But the other thing is that they're super lightweight. So these are like a polymer, which is just super, super lightweight. So they're not a metal frame, which can sometimes be a little bit heavy on your nose. So I love these. Again, I know if you're just listening to this, you're not watching it on our new video, which again, you can watch on YouTube at Stephen Cabral or just stephencabral.com /podcast for all the videos. But again, these are just black frame, the yellow, orange tinted glasses that are very specific. They're on the higher end range and they're great to work really for the eye strain, excuse me, eye strain, and then in the evenings at night. All right, so that is that with that. You can find these at equa.life, or of course, you can pick out your own favorites. I will link them up today at stephencabral.com /1729. All right, now moving on to the research. Okay, we're getting started with our first research study. The first one is from Deceptive Mass Food Media and Marketers. Here's the thing. So many people right now, if they're on more of a paleo-based diet, they're looking for grass-fed meat-based selections, meaning like the animal products that they're eating, let's call it beef, have been grazing and eating grass, or so we thought, their entire life. And if they're eating grass, well, that means they're getting healthier levels of omega-3s versus unhealthy levels of omega-6s from grain-fed animals. Well, latest news is this. Grass-fed beef, which has been associated with more health values than that of grain-fed, higher levels of anti-inflammatory omega-3s and conjugated linoleic acid, and less pro-inflammatory factors such as the omega-6s in grains. Here's what we found. Less antibiotics in grass-fed, less superbugs potential in grass-fed, less hormones in the grass-fed. Now, here's the problem, though. There's no federal government standard for grass-fed beef, nor grass-fed beef labeling. Meat companies can label meat grass-fed even if grass was only a minor part of the animal's feed. So this is the issue. Some of them can be grass-fed and grain-finished. I used to believe that it used to have to say grain-finished, but it doesn't. It could actually say grass-fed, even if part of that animal's life was eating and grazing on greens, or I should say grass. So the best thing that you can do is look for a label identifying the beef as grass-fed that can be trusted and certified by a third-party verifier, such as the American Grass-Fed Association, which is americangrassfed.org, or the Food Alliance, which is foodalliance.org. These are able to certify that the beef has been grass-fed the animal's entire life, and that it is exclusively foraging and not using other grain-based products. So I think this is an important one because if you are paying more for that meat, you want to make sure that you're getting the best quality, and simply staying away from grain-fed and who knows what else those animals are fed. Skittles, believe it or not, Skittles, hormones, all sorts of different things to fatten them up. And of course, that makes a larger animal, so then the animal can be sold for more money. So we have to be really careful. When you are shopping for your health, you want to make sure you're getting the best quality product. So if you choose to eat beef, I will link up the two organizations where you can look for better quality. And again, but it's about trusting the manufacturer. It's about going to a local farmer's market and meeting the local farmers. It's about building relationships with good health-based companies. That's what it's all about. All right, last research study of the day. And I mentioned this a little bit in the beginning. One of the reasons why I'm creating these fully online and I call them health results accelerators, because I want to teach you everything in a day that you need to know in order to rebalance your body, whatever it is. Again, female hormones, testosterone in men, immunity. We're talking about autoimmune issues. We're talking about all of these different things. Like everything that you need to know, I want you to be able to download it. Now, you're going to get plenty of a year's worth of access as well to it. So you can always go back and study it, do whatever you'd like. But I will eventually be moving on 3 to 5 years from now. I won't be stopping the podcast, that's for sure. But I'm going to be turning my attention, probably 2/3 of my time will largely be dedicated to the study of anti-aging and longevity. And the reason is that this is essentially the Wild West. Like, for example, if you want to ask me, how do I rebalance my hormones? How do I rebalance my autoimmune issues? How do I rebalance heart issues and blood pressure issues and blood sugar issues and gut issues and thyroid issues and like whatever it might be? We can give you definitive answers. Like I know there's a lot of people suffering right now from those things. And I suffered from those things as well. And I just hadn't been shown my answer. But the answers are out there. Like when I was sick, the answers were still out there. I just didn't have them because I didn't meet with the right people that would show me the answer. I met with some people, they showed me a little bit, but it wasn't the whole picture, right? So I took an integrative approach. I said, well, what do they say in Ayurveda? What do they say in traditional Chinese medicine? What do they say in traditional herbalism that's done all around the world? What do they say in orthomolecular medicine, the study of vitamins and minerals? What do they say with functional medicine lab testing? What do they say in traditional naturopathy? What do they say in bioregulatory medicine? I took all of these things with Eastern-based philosophy, rolled it together. And that's why we have an integrative approach. So there's essentially two frontiers. One is the gut microbiome and how, not how to rebalance the gut, we know how to do that, but really how do certain gut bacteria affect mood and brain and immunity and all sorts of different things. And then there's also the longevity factor. And the longevity one has always spoke to me, probably because when I was 17 years old, I was given a terrible prognosis that I probably wasn't going to have a very long life. So I think that always stuck with me. And plus, it's also the fatalism of life. It's like, we're in a pandemic right now, where all these different things, and my goal is to help people the greatest amount possible. And I also understand that as you get older, you shouldn't lose life, right? You should still live a life of vibrance. And that's really what I want to work on and help people with. And I study it to this day, but I'm just not able to dedicate my full time to that, but I will. I'll be able to dedicate, like I said, about 2/3 of my time to that. But anyway, so I do a lot of research in it. This study was published just about a year ago, just a little bit over. It was actually done in the UK. I'm going to link it up for you here today. So if you love reading research like I do, you can check this out. This was done by Dr. Thomas Yates, and it was basically, it looked at almost 500,000 people. So it was a pretty good sized study. And what they found, I have this study basically memorized, but what they found was this, is that they were able to increase the longevity from someone in 15 years in women and 20 years in men. And that's absolutely unheard of, right? So they were basically able to get people to live into their mid to later 80s by looking at one specific correlation. Now, was it the only thing? No, but it was a big correlation because this is an enormous number. So people that are slow walkers, okay, I'm going to qualify this. Fast walking would be I believe it's 4 miles per hour. I'm going to quote this. I'll leave it for you in the notes today just because I don't want to misquote this right now. So just head over to stephencabral.com/1729. I'll put in the notes. So basically people who brisk walk, that's basically what they said, but I looked deep into the statistics. So I just don't have that in front of me right now. But people who did brisk walking, when they walked, they essentially, my wife calls it walking with a purpose, right? They walked quickly. Those people versus those people who walked very slowly lived on average 15 to 20 years longer. So they lived in their mid to later 80s. Now that's pretty impressive, especially since the average lifespan for a male is about 74 and for a woman about 77. Now slow walkers, though, conversely, only lived in their mid-60s. So it's something to look at it. You really want to, well, first of all, I talked about this in the rain barrel effect. You want to be walking every day. You want to be walking your 10,000 steps. But let's say you're only walking 3,000 to 4,000 steps. That's what the average person walks. So let's say you're only doing that. When you do walk, pick up the pace a little bit. Picking up the pace allows better circulation. There's so many things that go into it, but it also helps with adiposity. And that's what they looked at in the study. So is it just walking? Probably not. But people who walked briskly too also had less body fat, and that was a part of it. So was it tremendously different? Not tremendously different, but it was enough, and it also helps with what? Blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. And what are the three main causes of disease? Well, cardiovascular disease, blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes. That is why we need to do everything we can, and it's going to be a big part of my research, to help people live longer, and simply by walking at a brisk pace, you can do that every single day is going to help you get there. So thank you so much for tuning into the show today. I appreciate you. As always, if this show is helpful, please do feel free to pass it along to anyone else that it could serve. And tomorrow I will be right back with our Cabral house calls, the weekend house calls where we answer all of our weekend's community questions each and every weekend. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the weekend. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stevencabral.com/courses.